them as concisely and as accurately as possible. But of course, before anything else, you know what will happen. Here you go.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder. Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nag-CDK ka na para sa Windows mo. Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sad and depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. Sup, Renan Matthew. Sup, Susrabooks. And yun. Welcome to another episode of Puwede Magtanong. We usually try to do this every first Friday, but I was out of town last Friday, which was the long weekend Friday. Technically not a long weekend because Friday was already a regular working day and then Saturday, Sunday. But a lot of people, Monday was a holiday, then Tuesday was a work day, then Wednesday, Thursday were holidays, then Friday was a work day. So last week was all over the place. So a lot of people just took Tuesday and Friday off. What we did in the shop was we let people off on Tuesday and I streamed live from the shop then. So that was November 1. Tama ba yun? No, I think November 1 was this is actually sushi. So I shorted sushi and I made a little bit of money, just very, very small amount of money. Pero tama naman yung it shot up so dramatically na I was pretty convinced that, the price would go down pretty soon. So I made a little money off of that. Let me just check the schedule. Yeah, live from the shop was November 1. That was the holiday. We didn't ask people to come in on Tuesday. Was that October 31? I don't know. All right, let's get to the questions. Hang on, let me just throw up chat. So, hello. Sup, Ariel? Wait. How to sync ARGB fans, ASRock B550 Pro 4. The software for ASRock is called Polychrome, so you can just download it from the ASRock website. And as long as the fans are properly installed, so if they're ARGB, they go into the 5-volt 3-pin header on the motherboard. Polychrome will automatically recognize most brands. So once they're physically properly installed, and then the software should be able to recognize them, no problem. You might want to. The thing with the RGB is that a lot of the software, di naman a lot, but the software is very scattered. So each motherboard brand has its own flavor. Gigabyte Fusion, ASRock Polychrome, MSI Mystic Light, and ASUS Armory Crate, I think. Armory Crate is the ASUS suite, but I don't know if that's a specific term they have for their RGB. Aura Sync yung sa ASUS. Yes. What's also confusing about the RGB is that they have suites. So the different brands have parang all-in-one software related to their motherboard. Like MSI is Dragon Center, ASUS is Armory Crate. But then the specific RGB component of those suites, iba pa yung pangalan. Like, yun nga, MSI Mystic Light and ASUS Aura Sync. But anyway, if you don't want to you can use the native program of your hardware, or you can also try something like OpenRGB, which tries to have different hardware of the different brands talking to each other. Sup, Mark Lester? How much po ang B550 and R7 5700X? Let me pull that up right now for you. So whenever somebody asks us magkano ba and we have it, ako mismo, I just go to our PC builder. So it's this is the link. So we ourselves use this link. So we try to make it as useful as possible for everybody. I'm not sure if you want B550M or B550, although we have the Tomahawk and we have both. So let me just pull that up for you. Oh, we lost the chat. Something happened and we lost the chat. But I can still. I lost the old chat. Man, there were so many messages pa naman. All right. Wait. Do not worry because we will work around it and I will jump to oh, wait a minute. All right, I'm just going through the old chat. Yeah, so the B550, kung B550 Tomahawk is around 10,000 and the R7 5700X is around 11,400. Sorry, I can't feature the previous chat messages. May laptops na ba na naka 7, Sup Dave Matthew, naka 7645HX? I'm not gonna lie, I don't follow laptops that closely, so I do not know. um, the thing with desktop components versus laptop components, they are termed the same. So you have the 7000 Ryzen series for desktop. You have the 7000 series also for mobile. You have the 4000 series NVIDIA for desktop, same for mobile. But they're different. Like they really have to chop up the chips in order to get the performance that you need, heat and power consumption wise in laptop. So the performance can vary between the desktop version and the mobile version, even though they sound the same on paper. They use the same designations. I don't follow laptops a lot. We don't carry them on stock in the shop, but we can get them as custom orders. But I really would not know the answer to that question. 09, using Palit 1050 Ti, just playing Dota 2, Valorant, CS2, Forza 4, planning to buy RX 580. Basically, the question is for 1080p gaming, 1050 Ti versus an RX 580. I don't have the exact numbers with me, but I don't think you would be seeing a lot of performance. Let's say you spend 4,000, a big performance jump. Let's say you're spending 4,000 pesos on to buy a brand new RX 580. Even if there would probably be some performance uplift, a little bit, I think, in most games, but not enough, I feel, to justify spending like 4,000. I would save a bit more and then maybe just go with the 1660 Super. I mean, um, it is more expensive peso for peso, but parang value for performance. Hindi ganun kalayo kasi yung RX 580 tsaka yung 1050 Ti as far as I recall. But don't take my word for it. The best, actually, I love yung ginagamit ko pang research is you just go onto YouTube and then you ask their 1050 Ti versus RX 580. Then you'll have these channels na all their content is parang benchmarking na they take different games and then they put them side by side. Then you can see the frames per second per GPU. That's different from in the tech community, parang may mga websites like benchmarking na you have user generated benchmarks tapos sinasubmit, then they try to compare them using user generated benchmarks, but that's not really very reliable. So I do prefer yung mga channels na ganyan na you can see kasi it's per game, same settings, same system, na pinagkaiba lang yung GPU. I think that's a better assessment of like what kind of average performance gain or decrease can you expect from two different graphics cards. Tapos yung maganda doon, sobrang daming channels na ganoon. And they cover like, since ang daming channels, they really cover a wide variety of different cards. Like 3050 versus 1050. I mean, yung tipong ganon. I mean, there's so many variations. Okay, let me just make sure that I didn't leave any. Oh, dami ah. Okay, okay. Our store is in Makati, Aaron Guzman. Let me just make sure I didn't leave any Facebook. Sorry, medyo nag-reload kasi yung chat. So, I lost it on my end. So, I have to go back to the live stream and then jump to the beginning para makita ko yung so I can see what the old chat was. Sup, Robert from Facebook. Can't wait to buy a 3060 from your store. We can get it for you as a custom order, but right now we just stock the 4060 because the 4060 is faster than the 3060. It's cheaper than the 3060, and you get things like DLS S3, which is frame generation, which you don't get on the 3060. Yes, every time I say every time I do a stream now, somebody brings up 3060, then I have to say 4060, then I have to bring up na the 4060 does have 8 gigabytes of VRAM compared to 12 gigabytes of some versions of the 3060 because you do have pared down versions of the 3060 na 8 gigabytes lang din siya. But for the price, if you're doing a price comparison, you should really be talking about 3060 12 gigabytes versus 4060 8 gigabytes. But in no world is the 4060 slower than the 3060 12 gigabytes. So, the 4 gigabytes of VRAM, if for gaming, there might be some exceptions where you might need 12 gigabytes. And then the 3060 would be the better card. But overall for gaming, there's no use case where I could recommend a brand new 4060 na mas mura that follows the SRP compared to a 3060 12 gigabytes. So we do have the 4060 on stock. We can get you the 3060 if your heart is really set on that. Bakugo, Roddy, nag-re-casing ba kayo i7 7th gen? Doesn't matter. The generation of the CPU doesn't matter. What matters is the size of the motherboard, and the short answer is yes. We have cases that range from all of the mainstream sizes: ITX, MATX, and ATX. Um, as long as you buy the new case from us, we will transplant, meaning take all of your old hardware, scoop it out of the old case, install it into the new case with our cable management, which we're known for. And yeah, so as long as the new case is bought from us, yes, we will do that. Next weekend, Mark Lester to diagnose? Sure. Ronald, kaya po ba yung RTX 2070 Super sa 550 watt? Ooh, I wouldn't. um, I think that's medyo alanganin, Ronald. 2070 Super with the 550 watts. I wouldn't. Like, I'd be more comfortable with 650 watts. I can't remember what the recommended wattage is for the 2070 Super, but it, that's trending towards the high end for that generation. Usually high end needs a bit more power. Tapos yung problema sa mga GPU, kung kapos ka sa power, magka-crash talaga yung game. I mean, there are instances where, admittedly, I haven't heard of it in the 2000 series, more in the 30 and 40 series. But there really are instances where if the PSU just can't give enough power to the GPU when it needs it, it'll just really crash. So, you get yourself a nice graphics card. The 2070 Super is a pretty good graphics card even now. So parang sayang naman kung kapos siya because of the PSU. So, I wouldn't. You might be able to get away with it depending on what games you're playing, but um, I, I wouldn't be comfortable. All right, I think we can get back to live chat now. Live chat. Sorry, because the chat cut out. Yeah, sorry, the chat. I'm like, my face is frozen. I'm like, sorry, I'm doing all of the live stream now through Restream, so it's browser based. But I had to jump back to YouTube and Facebook, and then like my face was frozen, so I'm like, nag-freeze ba yung ano? Sub Joe Cool. Didn't you? I thought, di ba napanood mo yung last live stream ko with CS2? You saw my Steam ID. All right, so we are in Makati, on Chino Roses. Bala Antec Symphony 360 AAO for R9 5900X. Currently using Deepcool Gamax. Deepcool AIO are two times costly, more expensive than Antec in my region. Uh, I would love to advise, but I don't know the question. What's the question? Um, should you upgrade? Should you upgrade from the Gamax 400 V2 to the Symphony? Uh, Deepcool is more expensive. I don't know what the Gamax 400 V2 is. Let me check. I mean, I don't know what the size of the rad is. Oh, it's not even a. Oh, please God, yes. It's an air cooler. You're using a single tower heat cooler, a single fan, single tower heat cooler. For reals? You're using it with the R9 5900X? Oh man, yes, please. Please get yourself an AIO. It doesn't need to be the Symphony. I don't have any experience with the Symphony. The new Deepcool AIOs are very good, actually. The LT series, even the LS series, those are pretty good. I, I, I mean, Deepcool is pretty good value for money, but a single tower, single fan cooler, with an R9 5900X, you must be getting thermal throttling. I mean, your CPU must be working slower to make sure that it doesn't overheat. Please get yourself a proper AIO, a 360 mm. A proper water cooler. A 360 rad AIO is recommended for the R9 5900X. Doesn't necessarily need to be deep cool. If the Antec Symphony is cheaper, it's probably okay. I don't have experience with that particular AIO. I do have experience with the deep cool ones. They are very good. This is from the earlier question. Do you need a fan hub and controller? That depends on your motherboard. Sorry, nabanggit mo yung motherboard mo kanina, but I'm not familiar. I remember it was Astrock, but I'm not familiar with that particular model. If your motherboard doesn't have an ARGB header, yung 5-volt 3-pin ARGB header, you might be able to sync your fans using software by, as you mentioned nga, yung fan hub and controller. But if your motherboard already has an ARGB header, then usually you don't need a fan hub and controller, except for expensive brands like NZXT and Corsair. So RGB gets complicated. We've done a couple of videos on the channel about it. For regular brands, Cooler Master, Fantech, everybody has Deep Cool, everybody has ARGB, RGB now. Usually those guys plug into the header. Pero yung medyo premium brands like Corsair and NZXT, they get all fancy. You plug those into a controller, or basically it's like a small hub, and then that plugs into an internal USB header on the motherboard. So there are two possible answers to that question, which depends on whether your motherboard has an ARGB header, and two, if the RGB that you're trying to hook up is one of those fancy ones or the more standard ones. Okay, I have answered this already. Yes, we can do that. We do offer diagnostic services. And then the price is dependent on how hard it is to diagnose. Sometimes it's very fast. We can tell kaagad na yung RAM yung issue. We run mem test. We confirm the RAM is the problem. So if a very quick diagnosis, we have one price. But if it's a harder diagnosis, it takes us a really long time to figure out. Then it's a more expensive price. So it's a tiered pricing structure for our diagnostic services. But what we do for our customers is that if we determine that your PC is broken because of a part or parts, and you buy the replacement part or parts from us, wala nang diagnostic service. You basically buy the new hardware from us, and then we waive the diagnostic fee. So if we tell you like, okay, we tested your PC and we found out your PSU is broken, or if not broken, it's defective in some way that it doesn't give the watts that it should be giving. You buy the replacement PSU from us, then we don't charge you the diagnostic fee. Am I interested in handheld PCs? I did a video a little recently where I said I couldn't quite understand bakit uso sila. The Legion Go, the ROG Ally, and then the Steam Deck from Valve, which apparently is now coming out with an OLED version. Because for me, the beauty of the PC is that it's upgradable. You can have a large ass monitor, whatever, a keyboard and mouse, very important for FPS for me. And then you stick all of that potential gaming experience and you squeeze it into a handheld. I Di ko masyado magkita yung appeal. But I acknowledge that that's just a personal opinion. I understand it's very popular for a lot of enthusiasts. And it has been pointed out to me that for some games, bagay naman sa handheld. I do agree. Kasi for me, I like the cinematic experience of gaming. Cyberpunk, even just FPS. You're playing CSGO, CS2, and it's a big screen. I mean, I like the cinematic nature of gaming, which I feel you don't quite get on a handheld. But I do understand, yes, that for games of a certain format, bagay naman sa handheld. And all of that said, I have actually never tried it. So, malay ko ba, di ba? I mean, ang dami kong sinasabi dito, di ko pa naman susubukan yung Steam Deck or whatever. So that said, right now, I don't quite see why everybody's so agog over it. But I am very open to trying it out. Miko Arevalo from Facebook, does MSI GF663 have a battery issue? It's newly bought and lasting for 2.5 hours. I assume this is a laptop, but let me check. It is a laptop. I have no experience with that laptop, but you shouldn't be getting 2.5 hours. Either there's something defective about the battery, or there's some software there that is running off the hook. It's might have come with bloatware already from the brand, from MSI, or something got installed that you weren't aware of. So it's either a software issue or a battery issue. But yes, definitely that's an issue. 2.5 hours on a new laptop, that shouldn't be the case. Even like for a gaming laptop and you like crank it up all the way, I don't think 2.5 hours. It's 99% probable that there's an issue there. Cooking like a pogi. Sulit ba mag-upgrade to 5800X 3D? Yes, especially for gaming. The 5800X 3D is so good, especially as a gaming CPU. Um, yung thing kasi sa gaming, it doesn't really take advantage of multi-cores. The more expensive a CPU gets, basically the more cores and threads they crammed into it. And that's good for other applications, but not for gaming. A lot of games, I can't think of any game actually, that takes advantage of a lot of cores and threads. Yung maganda kasi sa 5800X 3D, yung nagdi-distinguish sa kanya is that they added more cache. So basically they slapped another they added, in very simple terms, they added more memory which the CPU can easily access. So that speeds up a lot of things, especially for gaming. So you will see a substantial improvement if you jump from a 5600X to a 5800X 3D. That said, if gaming is what you're looking for, like that's what you want to upgrade, that's what you're looking to upgrade your experience in, a GPU will still give you more value for money than upgrading the CPU. But if you want a more all-around experience, like me, I have a 3080, but my CPU is only a Ryzen 7 3700X. Not bad, but also, sorry, 3800X, I think I'm on. So not bad, but not the greatest anymore. So I'm actually thinking of a 5800X 3D. But also because I need it for editing. I'm just tired of like the scrubbing through the timeline tapos mabagal siya. I answered this to if you can recommend any low profile fans. Arctic has, we have on stock actually. Arctic has, Noctua has also. Yung nga, low profile or slim profile. Both Arctic or Noctua, I can't go wrong with them. I think Arctic has slim P12. Wait, I know we have some on stock. Yeah, we have Arctic P12 Slim 3-pack for 1,160. Arctic also very good. This is the one I mentioned earlier. Yes, that's I can't. The desktop the desktop and the CPU, sorry, the desktop and the laptop hardware, they sound the same. So you would assume that they perform the same, but they actually don't. And I see that Dave Matthew is still listening to the show. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, this is the diagnostic. We don't have motherboards anymore for diagnosis of ano. Tsaka DDR3 pa to. So we also don't have DDR3 RAM. I think we might have actually, just with that we use for testing. So might still be able to diagnose it. So you can go with a 3080, um 3080, 4070. I mean thereabouts. Your PC is high end with that motherboard and with that CPU. So I assume your budget range is also a bit high end for the GPU. So 3080, 4070. Doon naglalaro. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sige, I will jump a little bit, but I'll get back to the old questions. Chipbong, for gaming monitors, assuming the specs are the same, do budget models 15,000 plus versus expensive variants 24,000? Yes. I would, just in terms of longevity. Although 50,000 pesos is or not budget anymore. You can get very decent ASUS monitors, ViewSonic monitors for around 11, 12K. We're talking about 24 inches, 180 hertz. So 15,000 is actually a decent amount to spend on a monitor. That said, I think the question is a little um the question isn't could be a bit more accurate because it's very unlikely that you would find the same specs, like budget model and then a more expensive model. Like the more expensive models would probably run at least faster, um and yun nga, yung quality mo with the budget models is a little iffy. But yun nga, we're talking about budget. Like we did a video last year. The cheapest gaming monitors you get from Lazada. So those are around 7,000 pesos roughly. We bought 3 of them. And they were all quite good. They were IPS. They were like 166 hertz or something, 144 hertz. But are they still working now? And after the video, we started using them in the shop, like on a regular basis every day. Medyo bumibigay na yung isa. So you do get what you pay for a little bit if you spend a little bit more. But for me, it's not so much the same specs. But if you're gonna spend more, get better specs. Like get better size for sure. Get an IPS. Get one that's a better resolution than like what if you were to um go a bit more entry level. Sup, Moniker? Okay, let me go back to the old or older questions. Monitor again. 34-inch ultra wide. That is in stock or easy to get. The for sure that we can get is the ROG PG. Sorry. No, that's the wrong one. The ROG they had a 34-incher that I reviewed, but it's a little old there. But that one I know is still on stock. And we sold one recently, like maybe a month or so ago. Um Wait. Sorry. I don't know how clear the my side monitor is, but this is from a local gaming. I need to explain why you might see these very scantily clad women on my own Facebook. It's from one of the PC Facebook groups that I'm a member of, which is local. I feel like I need to explain myself because I can see on the screen that you can see what's on the screen. But I just want to the I'm just gonna check the model of the ROG monitor that I was mentioning. It's the XG349C. But we can also get Samsung. I don't know the exact. So the XG349C is a good monitor. I tried it, but it's a little old na. But it is readily available. Like, i.e., we can get it right away as a custom order. And tagalin ko na nga to kahit ako na ano eh. Kahit ako na distract eh. Um, but there are newer models. I think we can get from Samsung. I don't know the exact model. I can't remember the exact model numbers. But 35-inch ultra-wide IPS. Yeah. Could probably get from Samsung. The Samsung stocks are are easy to get now. Uh Pluto Altim, yes, I am 100% Filipino. Pesto sa pesto. I swear to God that like I didn't even like I didn't even mention the PC group, but it's a local PC group. Sup Ryvy from Kuwait, thanks again for watching. Budget capture card. I do not know, to be honest. I don't use capture cards because I don't play a lot of console. I don't so I don't really use a capture card. I mean, there are instances where you would use it in a PC setup, but I just have I don't really need that, to be honest, for my streaming needs. So I'm not a good person to answer that. But the one that has really good reviews on streaming hardware in general is Epoch's Vox. Let me so he has a YouTube channel. He's a very big YouTube channel. Yeah, Epos Vox. Like, you can let me I'll put it in the chat. You can go to Epos Vox, and like, he has a bunch of reviews. We I reviewed one from Asus like 6 months ago, which is pretty good. It's very decent for my needs. But again, like, I wouldn't be comfortable positioning myself like, oh yeah, I've tried like a bunch of cards and this is the best, parang ganon. And definitely Asus trends more towards pricier than entry level. So I that might not be the best choice for your use case. For streaming, I don't think it. So this is a follow up to the original question. I don't think it would matter, to be honest. Still the same. My answer would still be the same. Miko from YouTube. I'm using i7-6700 with 1050 Ti. Can I still play AAA games? Probably, if you dial the resolution down, dial the texture detail and things like that. You could probably play AAA games, pero hirap. I mean, let's be honest. That is not the most ideal rig to play AAA games, but you can buy get a pricey GPU, 7800 XT, 7800 or 6800 XT. If you can still find them, 4060. On the more medium level, but what I'm trying to say is, don't worry about bottleneck. You can get a faster GPU, and it will significantly improve your gaming experience. And like, if you get something like the 3080 or something, if you can find it at a good price second hand, get that. People will tell you na, oh, bottleneck yan, etc. Yes, it's bottleneck, but it will still improve your gaming performance dramatically. I know, because my old rig was an i5 4690K, even older than yours, with a 3080. I played Cyberpunk on it. I played whatever on it, even with streaming. So that whole argument, the bottleneck, I've said it many times on the channel. Yes, it's a thing, but I don't think it's a thing that you should obsess over about, especially if you want value for money. This way, you only need to spend to upgrade the graphics card, not the motherboard, not the CPU, and then plus pa the CPU. If you're just looking bang for your buck, buy a slightly more expensive graphics card. There might be some bottleneck. but you're still getting a big jump in gaming performance. Yun. 4060 for medyo mid-range, 3080, get it at a good price, second hand. 6800 XT kung AMD side, 7800 XT, 7800. Those are pretty good. Moniker, wala. I felt bad. Like I feel bad. Like I feel that they're obligated a little bit to come on, and parang like I feel that they're young and they should be out enjoying themselves. And ako naman, like on Friday nights I'm usually available. So like I usually invite, but I this time I actually didn't, just because like I didn't want anyone to feel obligated to pop in. And although I do miss the team, but on the other hand, I'm happy that they're having a life. Kasi yun nga, I don't want them to feel obligated na kailangan nila mag-appear sa streams. 5600 versus 5600X, huge difference in terms of gaming. For me, if it were an upgrade, definitely not. But if you're planning to buy, for me, might as well na rin go the 5600X. I mean, so it's yung X just means it's kind of basically overclocked out of the box. It's a bit faster. For me, you get a little more juice out of your purchase. You can overclock the 5600 non-X version, pero mahassle ka pa to figure it out. I mean, some enthusiasts like that, some enthusiasts don't. So for me, the 5600X is worth the extra juice if you pay that you pay a bit more for. But like if it were an upgrade, definitely not. Especially in terms of performance for gaming. Because you're buying a whole new CPU. Just spend that money on something else. We can naman. It might be a bit hard to find, to be honest. Sanjo from YouTube, 128 gig DDR4 kit. It might be hard to find, pero kung kaya naman namin, I mean, we would look and then we would let you know. I agree with this. Yun nga, as we mentioned earlier, probably like if you dial down the settings way low, but yun nga, again, to be frank, it's not the most ideal setup. We don't have, but we can order it as a custom order. Let me check like off stream, off. Let me check if actually our ASUS supplier is not showing it. So I don't know how much it is, but probably we could get it. Hello, thank you for buying from our secondhand parts list. If available pa sa hardware sugar in 1630 na GPUs, 1630. Not on stock, but we can get them as custom order. But the 1630 is notoriously bad. But we have sold them. We got them as custom orders, but they're usually for yung tipong like computer labs for schools and things like that. So kind of institutional purchases. As the final consumer, on the consumer level, the only reason I could think of why you would want a 1630 is to have multiple monitors. But then even then, like your motherboard probably has enough for at least two, has enough ports for two. I mean, the 16, there are very little use cases where a 1630 is a good choice. But yun nga, I mean, there are some use cases, yun nga, like institutional purchases na you might want to go with that. We can get it, I think, as a custom order, but we don't have on stock. It is a good GPU brand. My current, just off camera, my computer, my GPU is a Zotac 3080. We have sold Zotacs in the past. Good. I'm looking up on screen. When I look up, that's usually when I'm thinking. Because I'm trying to remember when we had to do an RMA, and I can't remember a time that we had to RMA Zotac GPU. So I don't know about like gaano kabilis yung RMA, but we do have very good relations with that particular supplier, yung supplier natin for Zotac. So it should be pretty fast naman. And yun nga, yung quality nila, I don't remember ever having to RMA a Zotac card. Although, like, as long-time viewers know, my GPU is actually from a hardware sugar customer. He sent it back kasi hindi na nagsispin yung fan consistently. But then we never we never sent it back because I just ended up getting it for my own use. And the fans still spin naman. I'm not that very particular about the speed of the GPU. I mean, as long as it doesn't crash while I am playing, I am perfectly okay with that. And so I don't care if the GPU gets a little toasty. So far, it's been no problems with me. Um, yeah. So that's the only quality issue I can think of with the Zotac, but it's only happened once. I can't think of any other quality issues we've had with them. And sometimes their prices are quite competitive, especially for the 4060. Like the 4060 Spider-Man edition that we have now on stock, the price is very good. I will answer Sup Leah Magnaye's favorite question after we jump back to our sponsor.
Sawa ka na ba sa unactivated Windows mo? Well, lucky you! Pinakabago mula sa cdkeyoffer.com. Windows 10 and Windows 11 activation codes. Legit, safe, at pinakamura. Madali lang umorder.
Hanapin ang Windows version na gusto mo. Piliin ang preferred payment method. Wala pang 5 minutes, nagsiligi ka na para sa Windows mo.
Marami na kaming natulungan.
Dati, sad and depressed ako. But now, I found the love of my life.
Dati, aimless and walang purpose ang life ko. But now, I'm a world-class Zumba instructor.
So, web developer ako and content creator for a YouTube channel. And ngayon, ganun pa rin ako pero activated na yung Windows ko.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com.
Check out cdkeyoffer.com. Actually, my only regret about doing Puwede Magtanong at this time slot is that I get hungry. So, to answer Leah Magnaye's question, with many things in life, I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite game, favorite movie, favorite book, favorite restaurant. But I do have a lot of things that I really like. Tas binabalikan ko sila, or like if it's a book, I'm like, God damn, that was a good book. God damn, that was a good movie. God damn, that was a good video game. But so restaurants that I go to a lot, Din Tai Fung, love Din Tai Fung. Chibo, I like Chibo. For ramen, Mendocoro, always good. The chicken place of Mendocoro, I forget what they call it. But it's also in Rockwell, it's very good. For expensive restaurants, my wife and I go to 1210 a lot. 1210 used to be very close to where I live, and I loved it because they have very good drinks, they serve very good cocktails, and then I could just walk it. And then what my wife and I would do was, so I would be at home, she would be coming back from work. This was pre-pandemic. And then whenever our college basketball team, my wife and I went to the same college, but we didn't know each other then. We met in law school, but we went to the same college, same year. So we have the same college team. Whenever it would win a championship, we would celebrate by going to 1210 and getting drunk. And I would like going there early, wala pa yung misis ko, and just getting slightly tipsy on my own. So they have moved, and now they're in the Rockwell area. They were pricey before. I think they're even pricier now because of the move, but they still have very good drinks. So 1210 is one of those restaurants na we occasionally go to for a special occasion. Sima, I like Sima for occasional Greek food. Shake Shack for the milkshakes, the ice cream, very good. I don't know, they're very pedestrian restaurants. I mean, pedestrian in the sense na they're not naman fancy restaurants. You can find a lot of these restaurants in a lot of places. Cafe Med, I like Yabu. I love Yabu. So, yeah, I don't think I'm hard to please in terms of food. Generally, we have a lot of restaurants. Generally, we have a list of restaurants that we just rotate around. I like shabu shabu. I didn't used to like shabu shabu, but my wife is Filipino Chinese, and over time, since we got married, I have grown to like shabu shabu. So occasionally we go to a shabu shabu restaurant, and that's probably a lot more than the general audience wanted to know about my eating habits. So let's get back to the questions. I'm hungry now. All right, here we go. The older questions. Old computer i5 4440 GTX 750 Ti. Jet Ski the Chummy from YouTube. This is the rig is a little old. 1660 Super RX RX 6000 ba yun? Or still 6600 RX 6600. All of those would probably maybe bottleneck a little bit, but again, as I mentioned, don't worry too much about the bottleneck. Just get a better GPU in your system. You will see better performance in gaming. So yun, 1650, 1660 Super, RX 6600. Yun, I mean, that's what I would recommend for that. Kind of like, I'm assuming like a budget range. Best 27-inch monitor na bang for your buck? The 27-inch monitors we have are a bit pricey, to be honest, because like we have a 2K one from Bank. The things coming into my mind are like the PG27A QDM from ROG, but that's an OLED, so definitely nice but pricey, not bang for your buck. Like if you're up for it, itong OLED ba to? We have an Ultra Gear. Oh, it's nano IPS, so nice then. We have an LG Ultra Gear for 25,000. So that's not really bang for your buck, but it is a very nice monitor. 2K 180 hertz G-Sync compatible. You can you can hear my 1-year-old son. I don't think he was picked up on camera, but he was yelling. He was yelling. Bang for your buck 27 incher. So at 27 inch, like I'm tempted, like you should just get 2K, but that's not really bang for your buck. It's actually quite hard to find a decent 2K 27-inch monitor, which is why we have them. We have two of them. We wanted to give our customers variety. That said, nothing really comes to mind like off the top of my head. I had like there was this Asus one that's a little old that I really loved. We got to try it out. Wait, let me see if I can pull it up. The problem with monitors is that they have these really weird ass names. I mean, the naming conventions for monitors are just terrible. Um, but it was like 2 years ago. But I really loved so IPS. I really loved using this the Asus stuff VG27A QL1 Alpha. Ganda nung quality ng monitor na yun. But now I'm spoiled with OLED. But IPS versus ganda. That was a good monitor. I think I'd still get it. Let me just jump to one of the later questions. My house, I don't know. I don't know if it's grounded, but it doesn't matter because I don't have any protection. I don't use. So I've lived in this house where I am now in Makati for the past more than 5 years na. That entire time, wala akong protection. Walang AVR. Walang, sorry. Usually when you say protection, you think of something else. But you think, or I think of something else. But I have been AVR free, surge protector free for the entire time that I've been in this house. I don't know if there's my plugs do have the 3-prong thing, so the prong that is the ground that is meant to plug into the thing, which ultimately goes down into the ground that serves as the ground. Um, I don't know if my house has it, but generally I am yeah. So, but I have lived without using any AVR or things like that. Um, the AVR, like I don't want to stray too far into things I don't know that much about because hindi naman ako ECE. I'm not an electrician or anything. I believe the AVR will work even if you don't have a proper that you don't have an actual ground like that goes into the soil because there are that's the whole point of the AVR. Internally there are already protections in place. Yung mga surge protectors, that one I think they do still work even without the proper ground. I think internally they have protections in place inside the surge protector. Do they work better with a ground? Like if you have an actual ground. Again, I'm very uncomfortable because I'm straying out of my comfort zone. But I would think yes, they would probably work better if there was a ground. But in condo buildings, most likely you don't have a ground, even if the outlet looks three prong. Um, but like if I had to bet, like I think they would still work even without a ground. They probably work better with a ground. But again, take all of that with a grain of salt because yun nga, hindi naman ako ECE or an electrician. I agree. I agree. We do sell a little bit of ViewSonic. And one of my monitors now. So I have four monitors here. One of them I have one in a portrait mode, so for my chat. And here. So this is what I like doing when I can't just show my setup. So you can see so I have four monitors, the main one in front of me, and then the Focus ZV-10. Then I have one in portrait that you can see here. That's the portrait one. This is actually a ViewSonic, and it's just super old, and I've had no problems with it. Yes, and as Dave Matthew pointed out, that is a very old TV, LG, older pa than my marriage. So I had this in my room. I think it's around 42 inches. Like it's really old, and you can tell na bumibigay na yung panel kasi there are different white colored spots that you can even see. It's already in the background, pero kitang-kita yung ano. But I don't care because I don't watch it. I don't use it to watch content. I just have it as a other monitor, and it's very super useful as another monitor. Um, and it's really like what I like for my personal use. Like when you're building a PC, I like using as much old stuff as possible. So this other monitor na naka undersling, this is a 27-incher from Bank. Also my old gaming monitor. The ViewSonic that I have here on the side, also an old gaming monitor that I used. So both of these were my primary monitors, and then I started getting more and more monitors. I do have a monitor problem. And then here we are. Maybe not on stock, but if our supplier has, we can get it as a custom order. And we do sell height actually. We do sell the brand. We have sold the Y60. We have done builds in the Y60 for customers. So we are and just like Konting Flex, we did a short that had the height, the Y60. And then, it was like, is this a PC case or an aquarium? Then we had like some sound effects and whatnot. But it was, it's a very complimentary short on the Y60 because we did like, we did the camera turning around it and stuff like that. And then Height liked it, or like the official Height YouTube channel. I think it was on YouTube where they noticed it. They liked it or whatever, or something like that. So it's it's nice when the brands like notice us. Kind of KSP for the brands. This one I don't know. I'm not familiar with the brand, to be honest. That's good. Please do visit. The more customers, the better. Hopefully, we can fuel more inventory and fuel more like an expansion. Like, let's get a branch going outside of Makati. Yes, we can clone the to the new SSD. Um, yeah, we don't have a 34-inch ultra wide. But yun nga, they're easy to get once I mentioned them earlier. Planning to build a new planning to get a new build mainly for motion 3D animation. All of those are fine. Actually, you don't need a super high end for 3D animation. So the specs that you have planned now, Emmer from Facebook, completely fine. Um, if you don't care about the aesthetic, an air cooler is also fine for the R7 5800X. Get something like the Deepcool AK620, it'll be completely okay. Yeah, so all of those are good. You can go air cooler, you can save a bit more money, and yeah, but all of those are good for your use case. We do not, unfortunately. We do not. Roland, I'm currently actually using the Height Y60. There you go. Yeah, we have done some builds, as you can attest. I RIP to your monitor, Zedekiah. Sorry, we don't repair monitors. I don't know how hard it would be. I don't know how easy or hard it would be. I assume hard though, kasi kung nabasa yung circuit board, medyo mahirap. Um, Generally the 6600 edges it out a little bit. If you're like yung think ko doon, it's not just yung raw hardware performance, but it's also like, are you comfortable updating your drivers? Because even for me, like AMD really had a bad time of it in the 5000 series of cards. Okay naman yung 60 series and the 70 series, but I'm still a little traumatized from that because when a customer buys a card, let's say it was the AMD 50 series, and then biglang nagka-crash yung games nila, they're going to insist that there's something wrong with this card. Then you have to tell them, well, it's just really the drivers and it's not really our fault. And there's the warranty only extends to hardware. So, it was a really hard time for PC shops with with the AMD 50 series. If the customers, were not that knowledgeable about computer hardware or just, and to be fair, I can understand the frustration. They spent a lot on the graphics card. Suddenly it's not working. And, you don't want to intellectually you understand why it might not be working, but on an emotional level, nakakainis eh, 'di ba? And who's the customer gonna blame? The easiest one to blame is the one they had last contact with, and that's the shop. So I'm still a little traumatized by the AMD graphics cards. Although we do carry the AMD naman when we find good value for money models. We do have the 7800 XT on stock now. So, but just in terms of raw performance, the 6600 I think edges out the 3050. But in terms of driver stability, the Nvidia one would probably still get my nod. So it kind of depends if you are how much of like, are you okay with uninstalling drivers and things like that? Like, how much of a technical user are you? What's up, Pesto? The 3060 Ti it's really good in terms of value for money, like almost dun sa 3070 performance, but not as expensive. I don't quite remember the exact comparison for this. I would lean towards the 3060 Ti again, just because I am slightly biased towards Nvidia, just for terms of driver stability. That said, if you can get the 6700 XT significantly cheaper, that would probably be better value for money. Any interest in custom mechanical keyboards? I do have an interest, but I'm not very knowledgeable in the custom keyboard space. So I like super noob. So I would be very like, I'd have to do my research before changing my keyboard, which is very old. We did a video recently where I mentioned that this is 6 years old or something. So this is a DAS keyboard. I bought this. So it is mechanical. The thing with mechanical, like, I really like yung very loud. Alam ko yung uso ngayon yung softer key, the softer sound when you do the keystrokes, but I like as loud as possible. Like yung old-fashioned typewriter na tak 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 tak, yung talaga mechanical na duk 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 duk. So that's what I like. I do have it, but short answer, I do have an interest, but I don't know that much about it, about that space. I would really need to ask people for help on that. Well, the brands in general, the 30 series, they really been it's really been phased out. So the brands don't make them anymore. The stock that we get are just parang pinapaubos na lang nila yung supply. It's not that big a push to phase it out, unlike AMD. AMD, when the 70 series came out, grabe yung price support nila. That's when they would tell the distributors that, okay, we will subsidize, parang discounted yung mga GPUs. There's a really concerted effort from AMD to discount the 60 series, so that matapos na yung 60, so that people could move on to the 70. Yung NVIDIA 30 series hasn't seen that level of support, like yung talagang discounted. Although prices have been going down over time, we can still get 3060 pa naman as custom orders. But yeah, one general reason is that they're just being the attention of brands is on the 40 series now with the 4060 and stuff like that compared to like the 30 series. I will just jump a little bit to another question. Aspect 14. I did a video 6 months ago where I bought from Amazon, and I said the experience was great. And I said in the video that I'm the only idiot who owns a PC shop, but I did a video extolling, or praising the competitor. And it was a great experience. I'll just basically repeat what I said in the video. You do run the risk na, the warranty thing, you do run the risk that if the part breaks down, you're shit out of luck, or you're up the creek without a paddle. Very, on a practical level, very hard to claim on warranty dito sa atin if you bought it from Amazon. But for items that have very low rates of return, thinking of storage, actually RAM medyo dicey. We've had some RAM na we routinely have RAM issues. But yeah, like for storage, that one I would be comfortable buying off of Amazon, and the prices sometimes are very good. Like, I'm gonna be honest. There are some times that the prices on Amazon are better than the dealer prices that we get. Um, and then the dealer price, syempre may markup pa yung store. We have to mark it up to make money. And then you go to Amazon, the retail price on Amazon is cheaper than the dealer prices sometimes here, and it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, the thing with the channel is that we really try to be transparent. Yes, it's free marketing for Hardware Sugar, but we're also doing it for enthusiasts to help get new people into the hobby. That's why we try to explain things in a non-jargon type of manner. And it's also what's best for enthusiasts. So hindi kami hard sell sa YouTube channel na, oh, hardware, you should buy all your stuff from Hardware Sugar, which is why we do crazy videos like that one where I bought from Amazon. Like, I personally put down money to buy from Amazon. It's free, and my experience was so good. It's like free marketing for Amazon, free marketing for my competitor. But ultimately, what we want from the channel and even from the shop is that consumers get value. And if they get value from elsewhere, we're also open. We're also very open about that and upfront about it. And I highlight it a little because, to be honest, I get a little tired sometimes. You read comments na, oh, Hardware Sugar is overpriced and things like that. Sometimes our prices are high, sometimes our prices are low relative to everybody. But I feel that we don't get enough. I feel that we get a lot of flack for that. So we get a lot of negative comments about that, but not enough attention to the fact that we tell you that, hey, you can buy cheaper things from other stores, like our price watch episodes that we do once a month. It's very clear. Like, this is the average price on the market based on the 4 largest PC stores in the country. We do that. Even though our prices sometimes di naman, might suffer in comparison. So, I think um owning a PC shop and then looking at the comments online where it is so easy for just some random guy to say overpriced kayo and sometimes it gets very tiring even though we do have a lot of content where we try to give value to the consumer. So wala lang, my 2 cents. Sometimes nakakapagod din. But I mean, it's the internet, so I try not to take it too personally. 2.5 hours? Like 2.5 hours na perform. I don't know, man. I would think that seems a bit excessive. Assuming I want a 4060. No? Oh, I thank you for using our PC builder. I recognize the format. Uh Sorry, I said no, but you can stick a 4060 in that rig, R5 5500. All you need to do is replace the just change out the GPU. You'll be fine. You don't need to anything else. The 4060 Ti was really lambasted when it came out. Like the tech reviewers were brutal, and so I mean, I was a little. I just mentioned that I'm a little um, nakakapagod listening to random people online criticizing the shop sometimes. Pero nakakapagod din watching the tech YouTubers, and this is even for like the big guys. Actually, even more so the big guys, kasi sobrang dali lang to get a graphics card and say, this is shit and um may performance increase naman from the previous generation but it's smaller than I expected and ang mahal niya. Um that's basically what happened with the 4060 Ti. It came out, malinaw naman yung may performance gain, but the performance gain was very small. To be honest, I think there were some games where the 3060 Ti or the 3070 outperformed it. But yun nga, in very select applications. I'm not defending naman Nvidia. It's just that I find the way things are covered in a very sensationalist manner also kind of very tiring. I mean, you have reviewers. I mean, come on, man. You have your reviewers posting the 4K performance of the 4060. Bakit ka magigame on 4K on a 4060? And I'm talking about, like, I think Linus had 4K benchmarks for the 4060. I'm not sure if Gamers Nexus had it also, but that's really not the use case for that card. Why would you include that data? Just to say that sobrang bagal niya. Oo, malamang mabagal yan. If you're trying to run 4K on a 4060. So the 4060 Ti or 4060 Ti as Nvidia would like us to call it was, sobrang binasha nung lumabas siya. I also agree it's not value for money. That's why we don't stock it in the shop. The cards that we try to stock, are value for money. So 4060 instead of the 3060 as a concrete example. But if it fits your use case, and we have had customers custom order them, if it fits your use case, then no problem. We can get that for you. In general, it's probably not best for everybody. But I try not to take that approach na, sobrang bulok ng card na yan. Never, ever, ever mo dapat yan gamitin. Because, you will always find niches, yung mga use case na not for the general use case, but baka bagay naman for what you need it for. Plus, if you can find it secondhand, that's always the big wild card. Kung may secondhand, you can get a 4060 Ti, you're upgrading from a 20 series, 10 series, tapos may second hand na 4060 Ti na good price. Why not, 'di ba? But that's my thing naman about the big tech channels. They're very kind of sensationalist in how they cover things. Because that gets more views. And ultimately, at the end of the day, people can say that, oh, we're in it, we just want value for the customer or the consumer and stuff like that. But what ultimately benefits those channels is if they are as loud about their opinions as possible. Ako wala akong pake, yun nga. Kasi like the YouTube channel, like our YouTube channel, it's really just like Is it bad for the shop if we release this video? It might be, but is it good for the consumer to know that Amazon is a viable option? Yes, it is. And yes, Amazon Amazon is good value for certain things. All right, I will just sorry, I am very hungry. Actually, I had lunch. I don't know why I'm very hungry. Maybe it's doing pwede magtanong. Okay, these are the earlier chats. This is like from around 7:10, so like 40 minutes ago. I think when lumabas to. Saan na ba yun? Nasaan na ba yun? Oh, that's Messenger. Ay, ano, nag, nag-refresh na nga, dun pa rin pumunta. Grabe tong Facebook group na to. And it's like PC, it's like PC related. Ano ba tong, I think it's a game. I think it's a game, and I guess they have some Jav related content. And I won't explain what Jav stands for the uninitiated. Pero like literally nag-refresh na yung Facebook feed ko, and then ito pa rin. So but yeah, I think these comments were from from that time. All right, so sup Martin, thanks for joining us. Oh, Gamer Zone. Sup Gamer Zone. I know you should tell. Like sila Rocky, the programmer before had their own show. It was like hardware news. It was probably about cutting edge, or I forget. It was the name also had a pun in it. I forget, but yeah, but yun, yeah, they got busy, and then yeah. Leah Magnaye. Sorry. Zedekiah, we do have a video about this. It's actually if you go to the channel, it's the first video on it. Like di ka iiwan ng mga brands na to. Here, yeah. This was, yeah, sorry to answer Zedekiah's question. Just go to this video. Like we broke down everything there. How many items we sold, how many came back for RMA per brand, and we name brands. And again, this could have been bad for the shop, right? Like you have a brand saying, "Oh, why are you saying publicly na bulok yung quality namin?" But we did everybody. We did all of the brands that we do business with. This particular video, which I posted in the chat, this was even noted by Tom's Hardware. So lumabas kami sa Tom's Hardware. A little kilig moment, to be honest. Kinilig ako na, I mean, you've been reading Tom's Hardware for years. They're one of the more well-known names. And then biglang lumabas yung Hardware Sugar. I mean, that was a good, that was a little nice. That was a little nice pat on the back moment for me. Not gonna lie. But yeah, we break down everything there, like the brands, how many we sold, and per component, CPU, PSU, things like that. So everything is there. Did Logan the dog come in? Man, Logan the dog. Logan the dog is so old na. State of the art. Yes, thanks, Pesto. Yes, thanks, Moniker. State of the art, yes, was the name of the video of the kids. All right. No, 550 watts is fine. We have a very good one from FSP, the HV Pro 550 watt. It is cheap, but it's very good. FSP is very good for PSUs. We mentioned in that RMA warranty video that we did, the link which I posted, we sold so many cheap FSPs. Yun nga, yung 80 plus bronze, not modular at all, like 1,000 plus pesos lang. But none of them came back. FSP is so good for quality of PSU. So I glanced at my PC because my PSU now is also FSP, but not hindi naman yung HV Pro. But for a 5600G build, the FSP HV Pro is so good. Let me just check the price. Sorry, tatagalin ko na to. Let me go to the RPC builder. Grabe talaga to. Kaka-upgrade, I mean, kaka-refresh lang nung feed sila ulit. PSU HV Pro. Sorry, the HV Pro now is 2,670, but worth it. You won't have any problems with that. I can't remember if like 1,000 plus ba yung dati naming binibenta na FSP. Sup, Mark Lewis? All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Another episode of Puwede Magtanong. I am very hungry. I will have leftovers for dinner, and then I will. My friends and I have a regular Friday night gaming session, but we will not be streaming that. I try to protect the privacy of my friends, but do check. I will stream maybe gaming tomorrow, and then maybe have depende if I can get it out the Price Watch episode on Sunday, and we'll be tackling there. Do the parts of PC prices go down pag malapit na yung Pasko? So is there like a holiday discount? So check out pretty soon, if not Sunday, early this week. That will be our Price Watch episode for December. Yon. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Stay safe.